What are the fundamental differences between Islam and Christianity, Muhammad and Jesus?
Okay, good. Well, there's a world of difference between the Quran on the one hand and the Bible on the other, in a lot of particulars. I mean, the Quran, I would argue, was compiled largely from stories that were told for ages and ages, around the campfires in Arabia. And some of those stories, we know that there was Jews mixing up with the Arabs in that area. And so they had their own kind of versions of a lot of, what happened is a lot of the Arabs would take some of the Jewish stories and make them Arab stories. And so and then that got incorporated in the Quran. For example, in the Quran, Abraham doesn't offer up Isaac, he offers up Ishmael. And Ishmael's the promised son. And so because they're descendants of Ishmael. And so you just find these kind of twists and turns on the biblical story in the Quran. So there's that difference. But the two major differences I would submit to you are this. The major difference is on Jesus Christ. In the Quran, it says, it mentions Jesus a number of times and always says, blessed be his name, but he is only a prophet. He's supposed to be a great prophet and whatever, but it regards seeing him as more than a man or seeing him as the Son of God as complete blasphemy and warrants certain hell. And or to believe that God is in any way threefold is also blasphemy and warrants hell. Paradoxically, the same book promises that tells Muhammad to be kind to the people of the book, referring to Christians following the New Testament, because Allah's given them that book. So it's kind of, there's some problems here, I think, in their theology, because the book that Allah supposedly gave us is the one that encourages us to worship Jesus as God, which the Quran itself forbids. And so there's a number of these kind of paradoxes that run throughout that. Then they have ways of trying to get around that, saying the New Testament that the Quran's talking about isn't the New Testament today, it's been corrupted, and there's virtually no evidence for any of that. So the view of Jesus is radically different, and that's the central difference. And because the view of Jesus is different, in the New Testament, Jesus is the definitive revelation of God. Because of that, the view of God is radically different. The Quran has got, Allah, everything that happens, and there are Christians who believe this too, but I would argue that it's not based in the New Testament. Everything that happens is what Allah wills. And that's why you have it in Muslim countries. They're always saying, as Allah wills, as Allah wills. I forget the Arabic expression, but as Allah wills. It's very fatalistic. Everything that happens is what Allah wills. And there's nothing you can do about it, including whether you're going to go to heaven or hell. I just said the story the other day where I was I wasn't at the store, I was at the airport. I was buying something, and these two Muslim ladies were checking me out. I forget what happened. I made some comments, something went wrong. And they said, as Allah wills, and the other one says, it's his plan. And I said, or maybe I just screwed up. I just like doing it, messing with people's minds. Maybe not. But see, so it has this very idea, there's a harshness to it that does resemble the Old Testament, but doesn't at all resemble the New Testament. There's some of the things in it are, there's some stuff in there I really like, but a lot of it I don't care for at all. Surah 4, for example, men, if your wife will not obey you, you first admonish her. If that doesn't work, then you forbid her the bed, like that's punishment. And if that doesn't work, then you beat her. Okay, so it's to teach her. Women are really regarded as property and slaves to be beaten there. So there's some real fundamental differences there.